There is one habit the wealthy almost never break, and most people who struggle for money never learn it. It isn't a stock tip, it isn't a secret investment, it's something so ordinary you've walked past it 1,000 times without a second thought. It's keeping their home clean, keeping things in order. Now I know how that sounds. Everybody knows you're supposed to tidy up. Nobody needs a lecture on that, so stay with me. Because what I'm about to tell you isn't really about cleaning at all. It's about something underneath it. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. But let me say this first, because somebody needs to. If your home isn't spotless right now, you are not lazy and you are not a failure. I've lived long enough to know that life wears a person down. You get up, you handle whatever the day throws at you, and by evening there's nothing left in the tank. You sit down, and the last thing on earth you want to do is straighten a drawer. Here's something most people never get told. Your willpower isn't endless. It's more like a battery. Every decision you make all day long quietly drains a little more of it. So, when you collapse on the couch instead of cleaning, that isn't a character flaw. That's just a tired battery. Remember that, because everything I'm about to tell you depends on it. Everything I'm about to tell you depends on it. Everything I'm about to tell you depends on it. Now here's the puzzle. The wealthy could pay someone to clean, and many of them do. So you'd think, of course their homes are tidy, they can afford the help. But ask yourself this. Have you ever known a truly successful person to waste money or time on something that didn't matter? They don't. They're careful about both, and yet they will gladly pay, month after month, to keep order in their homes. That tells you something. They're not paying for clean floors. They're paying for what clean floors do to a person. So today, I'll give you 3 real reasons the wealthy treat order as something close to sacred. The first reason is this. A messy space pulls negative things toward you. It has a kind of gravity. I spent a long lifetime watching people, how they lived, what their homes looked like, how their lives went, and I came to one simple conclusion. The ones whose spaces had fallen into disorder almost always carried a heaviness in them. And it was never about money. I saw poor homes that were spotless and full of light, and I saw expensive homes that felt like a storm had passed through. The room and the person feed each other. A heavy heart lets the room go, and then the room makes the heart heavier still. It runs in both directions. There's a famous experiment that shows just how powerful this is. Back in 1969, a psychologist at Stanford named Philip Zimbardo left 2 identical cars abandoned, one in a rough part of the Bronx and one in a quiet town called Palo Alto. Then he simply watched what people did. The car in the Bronx was stripped within hours, but the one in the quiet town sat untouched for over a week. Nobody bothered it. So Zimbardo did something curious. He walked up and smashed one window himself with a sledgehammer, and that was all it took. Within hours, people who'd ignored that car for a week began tearing it apart too. One broken window, one small signal that nobody was watching, that nobody cared, and everything else came down. Now think about your own home for a moment. That pile in the corner you keep meaning to deal with. That drawer that won't quite close. Those aren't just messes. Each one is a tiny broken window, whispering the same thing. Nobody's really tending this place, and the mind hears it, even when you don't. Have you ever noticed how trouble seems to arrive in bunches? You argue with someone you love, then something breaks, then a bill comes you weren't expecting. We even have old sayings for it. When it rains, it pours. A heavy, disordered space doesn't cause all of that, but it quietly feeds the mood that invites it in. And this isn't just a feeling. There's solid research showing that simply sitting in a cluttered room raises your stress hormones. Your heart goes a little faster. Your patience runs a little thinner. You feel it even when you don't notice it. So before you can add anything good to your life, you first have to clear out what's pulling you down. I learned this the hard way. There was a stretch of my life when everything went wrong at once, and as it did, I let my surroundings go. The mess grew as the trouble grew, and the mess made the trouble feel even bigger. I kept telling myself I'd deal with it later when I felt better, but better never came because the disorder kept feeding the despair. What finally turned it wasn't some grand plan. It was clearing out one corner, throwing away what no longer belonged, and the moment there was empty space again, there was room, real, physical room, for something new to come in. You cannot build a new life on top of an old mess. First you empty, then you fill. The second reason the wealthy guard their order so carefully is this: a clear space sharpens the mind, and a cluttered one dulls it. Researchers at Princeton found something simple and true. When your surroundings are full of clutter, your attention gets pulled in a dozen directions at once. Every stray object in your line of sight is quietly competing for a piece of your mind. You may not feel it, but your brain is working overtime just to ignore the chaos around you. That's why it's so hard to read, or pray, or plan, or think clearly in a messy room. You sit down, meaning to focus, and somehow you just can't. It isn't weakness. The room itself is stealing your concentration. Now here's the part I most want you to hear, because this is the heart of it. Your mind has a fixed number of good decisions in it each day. Every single choice you make spends some of it, and once you hit the limit, your judgment falls apart, no matter how important the next decision happens to be. Think about it. In the morning, you're disciplined. Fruit for breakfast, a sensible plan for the day. But by night, the same person is eating whatever's in front of them and ordering things off the television they don't need. Same person. Different time of day. The only difference is that the battery is empty. And here's what almost nobody connects. A cluttered home drains that battery all day long without you ever realizing it. Where did I put my glasses? What's that pile? I'll deal with it tomorrow. 100 tiny unfinished decisions humming in the background, wearing you down before noon. Some of the most successful people alive deliberately wear the same clothes every single day for exactly this reason: to spend zero willpower on what doesn't matter and save it all for what does. So you only get so many good decisions in a day. Don't let a messy room quietly steal them from you before lunch. The wealthy figured this out. They clear the small things away on purpose, so their minds are free for the things that actually move a life forward. The third reason surprised me the most. Putting your home in order shows you, plainly, where your money and your life have been leaking out all along. Let me give you the simplest exercise I know, and you can do it the moment this video ends. Pick one drawer. Take everything out of it, every single thing. Lay it all on the table where you can see it. I promise you, you will be stunned. Out will come things you never used, things you forgot you owned, things you bought two of because you forgot you already had one, things you can't even remember buying. And sitting there, looking at that pile, something quiet happens inside you. You start to feel just how carelessly you've been treating your own money. Money you earned with your own hours, your own back, your own life. There it all is, spent on things that gave you nothing. It's like dirt on the skin. We carry a film of careless spending and never see it until we lay it all out in the light. And until you scrub that off, good fortune can come to you and slip right back out again. So here's all I'm asking. Not the whole house, not today, just one drawer. Empty it onto the table and really look. That little pile will teach you more about your money than any budget ever has, because for the first time, you'll be seeing the truth with your own eyes instead of just hearing about it. Here's what that drawer is really teaching you. It's showing you how you were fooled. The whole world is built to make you spend, to make you feel that what you have isn't enough, that you need the newer thing, the nicer thing, the thing the neighbor has. And the tricks they use are clever. Ever notice money-back guarantee or try it free for 14 days? That sounds like kindness. It isn't. It works because of a quirk in human nature. The moment something is in your hands, in your home, you value it more simply because it's now yours. And so you almost never send it back. They know that. They count on it. And yet we hold on, even to things we'll never touch again, Part of that is another quirk of the mind. Losing something hurts us about twice as much as gaining something pleases us. So we dread throwing an old item away, dreading the day we might have needed it, even though the chance we'd ever use it again is almost nothing. And so the pile only grows. So here's a gentle test for each thing you pick up. Hold it in your hand. Does it still bring you any spark of gladness? If the answer comes slowly, or doesn't come at all, you already have your answer. Feelings don't need time to think. Keep what you love. Pass the rest on to someone who will actually use it. And let the rest go. Now, let me be honest with you about something. Cleaning your house won't put $100 in your pocket today. That's not what this is. This is about something quieter, and in the end, far more valuable. It's about how you treat your own life. And I'll tell you about mine. For a long time, I lived in a small place. Barely room for a bed and a desk. Hang up one coat and it already looked crowded. And so I let it go. I told myself there was no point tidying a space this small. What I really spent my energy on was resentment. Why wasn't I born into more? Why did I have to live like this? Then one day, I cleaned it anyway. The whole thing. It was the one thing in my life I actually could change, right then, with my own two hands. And when it was done, I sat down with a notebook. And for the first time in a long while, my thoughts came out in order too. I realized I'd been rushing around for years with everything tangled inside me. My mind had looked exactly like that room, never able to decide what mattered most. Once the room was clear, the thoughts cleared with it, and I stopped pouring myself into what I couldn't change, and started, at last, on what I could. I heard a saying once that stuck with me. Before you set out to fix the whole world, fix your own room first. And here's the part nobody tells you. When you're low, really low, starting a deep clean or a sink full of dishes feels impossible. The last thing you have the strength for. But begin anyway. Just begin. And by the time you finish, there's a lightness in your chest that's hard to put into words. You didn't just clean a room, you cleaned something inside yourself. That's why I call it medicine. So, understand what the wealthy actually understood. They were never really talking about scrubbing floors. They were talking about treating their space with respect. And through it, treating their own lives with respect. The clean home is just the outward sign. The real thing is a person who has decided their life is worth tending. So don't hear all this and decide to clean the entire house this weekend. You'll be worn out by Saturday afternoon and never do it again. Start so small it feels almost silly. Open a window and let the air move through. Make your bed. Set a timer for 5 minutes and tidy one surface until it goes off. Do it 3 days, and 3 days becomes a week. Your room is you. When your heart is low, the things pile up around you. But it works the other way too. Clear the things, and the heart begins to lift. So tonight, don't try to change your whole life. Just open one window. Empty one drawer. Make one bed. Begin with the one thing you can reach, and let the rest follow. This is Dr. Sterling. Take good care of yourself, and your home will start taking care of you right back.